Hi, Michiganders, specifically Detroiters. Do you guys care that Charlie Kirk has passed away? Yeah, I didn't think so because my district is primarily black people. And Charlie Kirk said awful things about black people. So, no, I think my district will like me because I advocate for them as a white person. So...
What the fuck?
The greatest lie humanity tells itself is that we have outgrown human sacrifice.
What?
We call it by different names now and make our offering to different gods.
No, there's just one. Yeah, there's just one.
As if the designation means that their mothers cry less when they die. We call masses of humanity collateral damage and turn our eyes away from the pictures of their lifeless bodies as we sip our morning coffee.
What is happening?
And the truth is, we don't do it because we are heartless.
Why?
We do it because we believe that it is necessary for the world to keep running.
What?
We do it because we believe that the gods whose favor we so desperately seek,
Yeah, just one.
freedom, security, prosperity, flourishing, that they demand blood as the price of their favor.
What?
We do it because we cannot see any other choice.
There's other choices.
And maybe that's why we read the Akedah, the binding of Isaac, on Rosh Hashanah. Because the story of the Akedah isn't about inconceivable obedience. When Abraham prepares to sacrifice Isaac, he is just accepting the same bargain of blood we still accept today. That some need to die for the world to flourish.
You know, I'm sitting here trying to figure out where I'm going to start in the news with this video. And I came to the realization that the reason why it's hard to start is because it's never ending. It's the same never ending story, the same cycle. We are picking up where we left off. So I shouldn't sit here and worry about, for example, where to start, because this all started before I was born. It all started before you was born. It started before I made my entrance from eternity into mortality. I know what I said was real deep, but it's just a revelation that came to me. It doesn't start. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going. So I'm going to initiate with this right here. The Mark of the Beast system and Keir Starmer deciding that he's going to push through the digital ID system and saying you cannot work unless you have a digital ID in the UK. Why is this significant? Because this is a sign that they're going to try and make their way here to America with it. Remember, everything that they did in UK and London eventually came to America. Prior to Muslims being in the streets parading around talking about free Palestine and all the rest of that crap, and Antifa being in America, it was in London. It was in the UK. It was all over Europe. And I promise you, had we got Kamala Harris in office, this would be the time where you will be getting your global digital ID, or else you could not work. If Kamala Harris would have made it in. But you should hear this clown. While his people are censored for social media posts, while simultaneously Muslims march around in the street and prepare for jihad.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that. Because decent, pragmatic, fair-minded people, they want us to tackle the issues that they see around them. And of course, the truth is, we won't solve our problems. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge.
Because decent, pragmatic people want us to solve the problems around them. But yet the problems around them, you allowed in. But you know, I said this yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, And I'm confident in this even more. Number one thing I'm confident in is God has the ability to sustain his people and protect his people in the midst of the fire, just like he did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The issue is to make sure that you one of his people. Second thing I'm 100% certain of is it has to happen. This has to happen to people. Now you can kind of like try and change the trajectory of the bullet that's coming to hit them. Instead of hitting them in the head, maybe hit them in the shoulder or hit them in the arm, or, if the bullet's coming for the center of their chest or to hit their torso, you can change the trajectory of the bullet to hit them in an extremity, a hand, maybe they lose a finger instead of getting their heart exploded. But unfortunately, it has to happen so people can learn. It absolutely has to happen. And that's a tough, harsh reality to come to. But I think we're going to need to accept it. Give you a perfect example. Here is an ICE agent doing his job to detain an illegal alien. And the wife of the illegal alien, who's illegal herself, tries to prohibit him from detaining him. And guess what? She gets thrashed on the floor, thrown around, and the guy gets detained. It has to happen. There's certain things that we're going to have to see. And unfortunately, I think the Trump administration is kind of delaying these things from happening. It's almost like they're trying to control the rollout of the eventual battles that need to happen. They just need to pop off. It just needs to pop off. And I don't mean that from a perspective of being frustrated. I'm not frustrated with the fact that things are happening. I'm actually delighted with what I'm seeing happening. It's just that we have a group of people in the United States of America who are so brainwashed that they do not accept reality. They're so brainwashed that they take Tylenol when they're pregnant and kill themselves and their babies because they want to say that Donald Trump is wrong, even though Tylenol came out and admitted, yeah, we told you never take our products when you're pregnant. Never, ever take our products when you're pregnant. Oh, you're trying to take away my Tylenol. I'm going to show you. Boo, boo, boo. Really? Yeah. She needed to die and lose her baby. It is what it is. They need to go through this. It needs to happen. And one of the things is, part of us, and let's just keep it real, part of all of us, and while I play this, I'm going to turn the volume off. Part of us, we are so loving and so caring and good at heart that I don't want to see this woman get thrown on the ground like that. I don't want to see that happen to her, whether she's illegal or illegal. I don't want to see you get treated that way. I don't want to see her daughter sitting there crying like that because her mom got slammed on the ground because her dad is got illegally, came over here. I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. But guess what? It's going to have to happen. It's too late. There was a song. It's too late, baby. It's too late. I want you to know it's too late, baby. That's where we at. We reached the point where we've gone beyond the Rubicon. It is too late. Things have to happen and people need to accept it. I am going through the process of mentally and emotionally accepting it right now, and you should as well. Well, James, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Could you explain to us what you are saying? Accept what? What do we need to accept? Hold on. Wait a minute. Here is the Muslim Brotherhood boot camp in the UK. We need to accept that the UK has been conquered by Muslims. And by the time 20 years from now, by the time I'm in my 70s, we will be dealing with a Muslim prime minister of the United Kingdom. And Muslims will be in charge of their nation and have its nuclear arsenal of weapons. Point blank, period. You need to accept for the fact that they're preparing to go to war. 100% preparing to go to war. There's no need for you to train like this in groups unless you are preparing to go to war. Somebody will say, well, we Christians have their spiritual boot camps. We're having our spiritual boot camps and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But Christians aren't known for having jihads and telling everybody they're going to take over and rape their children and wives. No, we're not known for that. We need to start accepting some things. Because until America begins to accept the reality of what must happen, we cannot fix the problem. For example, I don't know how many of you remember this incident. I remember it when it happened because it was, they say people of color, black and brown people. It was one black and brown girl who was a conservative and a pro-abortion versus one black or brown girl who was anti-abortion. And one was a leftist and one is a conservative. And of course, the leftist is the one who assaulted the other person. She got assaulted. She was bloodied. Her husband didn't do what I would have done. Because I'm telling you now, you're not going, male or female, you're not laying your hands on my wife without me knocking an eye socket. I'm crushing a fucking eye socket. And just for the record, if you see me out somewhere, I'm going to tell you right now, if you touch my wife or my family, I will kill you. And it don't matter if you kill me that day. It don't matter like if you put me in the hospital that day. None of that shit matters. I will kill you. And that's why I'm glad the Lord protects me from people like that. Because I'll be out and I'll see people all the time. They'll be like, hey, you're Dark Waters. And they're always respectful and they're always cool. But anyway, I wouldn't have handled this the way this husband handled it. We wouldn't be going to Alvin Bragg. No. But anyway, this went to Alvin Bragg. And the lady gets off after she assaulted her. Come on, beautiful. Tell them what happened to you, girl.
On April 3rd, 2025, I, Savannah Craven Entau, was brutally assaulted in the streets of Harlem while conducting interviews on Planned Parenthood. The entire shocking interaction was caught on camera by my husband, leaving no doubt that the assailant, Breonna J. Rivers, was not only guilty of aggravated assault, but also exulting over her own vicious criminal act. Rivers was arrested and reportedly charged with felony assault. But after an interview with 2 prosecutors, I was informed that the felony had been downgraded to a misdemeanor. Despite indisputable video evidence of brutal assault and battery, producing significant injury, trauma, and resulting in over $3,000 in medical bills. Over the next few weeks, the Office of the New York District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, infamous for its 2-tiered system of justice that favors criminals over victims, failed to pursue the case. On July 23, 2025, I find out the prosecution simply allowed this misdemeanor to be dismissed on speedy trial grounds. Apparently, due to the prosecution's failure to file a certificate of readiness. I was never advised by the prosecution that my case had essentially been abandoned. As a matter of fact, the prosecutor assigned to handle my case isn't even admitted to the New York bar, just an inexperienced law school graduate. Yet he was able to handle my case under a student practice rule, which is supposed to apply to only very minor offenses. Prior to the dismissal, the prosecutors failed to communicate with me and with my lawyers. And the failure to communicate continued after my lawyers intervened on my behalf to try and find out how this case could be dismissed. To this day, my lawyers and I have received 0 reply, despite multiple text messages, emails, and phone calls. It is inconceivable that a violent assault case such as this, one that received widespread media attention, including that shocking video, would be put into the hands of somebody not even admitted to the New York bar, who then allowed for the case to be dismissed. It is hard to avoid the conclusion that this case was deliberately sabotaged. To this day, my assailant, Breonna J. Rivers, continues to show 0 remorse and make jokes about her act of violence toward me and other pro-lifers. I do not want clicks, fame, or sympathy for what happened to me. I want justice for the countless pro-life and conservative activists that go out and peacefully stand up for what they believe in. And justice for the thousands of preborn children who will be aborted today, tomorrow, and the next. No one, on either side of the aisle, should experience physical violence for using their First Amendment right. Shame on you, Alvin Bragg.
Hold on. Now, I don't know why I got so small. Let me make myself bigger. Now, I'm going to say something. And it's going to sound a little insensitive. But see, men owe this woman an apology, including her husband. Because we should be the ones that's out here holding these conversations. Remember, I told you some things we got to accept. We should be the ones out here holding these conversations. We should be the ones behind the microphones. She shouldn't be in a situation where she get busted in the face. Now, don't get me wrong. The lady had no right to bust her in the face and hit her, none of that. But as a conservative, you're going to have to come to realize a couple of things, too. Like, if you're going to go out there and you're going to get in people's face with a microphone, you better have some hands on you. You better be able to lay paws on somebody. And you better be able to defend yourself because these people are violent. There's this rhetoric where it's like the left is violent, the left is violent, the left is violent. Right? But it's almost like the rhetoric hasn't synced into the reality of it. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I went to go get some cigars not too long ago. And there's a whole room full of people, and they're talking about liberal politics. I get invited to have a sit down with them. And it's 4 black men, 2 Latinos, and 2 white men. And I'm looking at the makeup of the room. I could tell the 2 white dudes and 1 Latino are all conservatives. I could tell everybody else is a liberal. And I'm listening to the conversation, I'm listening to the argument back and forth, and I'm watching the body language. And I say, I have a decision to make. I know leftists are violent because they're fucking demon possessed. Pardon my language. They're demon possessed. And I'm sitting there watching the body language. I'm sitting there watching them get upset. And I'm like, I can participate in this conversation. I can destroy these arguments. But at some point in time, it's going to go left. And I'm going to have to deploy a blade or a knife. The blade or a gun. And so I decided I'm not going to participate in that conversation. I'm just not. Because it wasn't worth what I was going to have to do. And somebody will say, well, we got to have those conversations. You got to pick your battles. That wasn't a battle to fight. And guess what? By the time I got up, moved over, talked to somebody else. By the time I was leaving, they were into an argument, like voices raised argument. And I'm like, nah, just that's not the battle. And the reason why it wasn't a battle, the fight to pick, was because it was 4 against more. Just, you know what I'm saying? It was 1, 2, 3, 4 against way more. And so you got to know to pick your battles. And we have to be smart like this at this point in time because they are violent. But also, in the case of this young lady, like, I'm sorry, you're not going to get an opportunity to assault my family like that and just get away with it. This coming on the internet, the footage would have never got on the internet. I'm sorry. You would have never seen the footage of somebody assaulting me or my wife unless somebody else released it. And you did it. Oh, you blooded me up. Oh man, you bad. Yep. I'm not. No. You want to press charges? No, sir. I'm all right. It was just a little scuffle. I'm going about my business. No. We're going to handle this. All right, let me stop because I'll be losing it. That's why. But we got to come to some reality to realize some things. For example, watch this. Senator Blumenthal. Now, he's saying that since James Comey has just recently been indicted, Senator Blumenthal is saying, well, when the Democrats get in power, you need to understand what goes around comes around. The fuck you mean? Didn't y'all just indict Donald Trump and all kind of other people and Roger Stone and Alex Jones? And what are you talking about? What you mean? You see what I'm saying? What do you mean, Blumenthal? Listen to him. That's a damn demon right there. Look at him. There. Senator Blumenthal. We'll be getting power. We're going to get you back. Revenge. No, we need to make sure y'all punk behinds don't get back in power.
The old saying, what comes around goes around. Mm-hmm. Today it's a Republican president, but degrading the democracy and ruining, literally perverting the great ethos and tradition of the Department of Justice, where I was in awe when I walked through those halls as a federal prosecutor. I think it's time for Republican colleagues to say enough is enough, and we are going to push them and do it hard on the Senate floor, privately, in the Judiciary Committee.
That's a damn lizard person right there. The Democrats don't have a leg to stand on about anything about the justice system, whatever. Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Comey, Clem, Brennan, Clapper, you like Russiagate, bro. It just, they have no leg to stand on when it comes to talking about people like prosecuting them. But this is what we have to understand about these people. They are wicked, and wickedness knows no bounds. It knows no bounds. You know, there's a distinction between like evil and wicked. Like evil is something that you do. Wicked is a state of being. Evil is something that you do. Wickedness is a state of being. That's why I said wickedness in the Bible talks about put on your full armor of God so you may be able to stand and resist the wiles of the devil. And it goes into talking about spiritual wickedness in high places. Wickedness in high spiritual wickedness, which is a state of wickedness in high places, man. That's what the hell we dealing with everywhere. That's what we're dealing with. Everywhere. Here it is, the wickedness outside the Chicago ICE facility. And let me say this, let me pause these clowns. I really want to say this and be clear with this. You see, all these little white kids that's out here beating on car windows and doing stuff, the criminals don't live in their neighborhood. The pedophiles are not in their neighborhood. The murderers are not anywhere near their neighborhood. They have an idea that, oh, ICE is evil, and they come out to protest. But Chicago, Los Angeles, here's what we got to come to the understanding of about these cities. They're going to have to go through what they're going to have to go through. They're going to have to experience what they must experience. The proverbial bullet to the chest, metaphorical bullet to the chest, in order to understand that these people can't speak for you. And that you let those people be your voice because they loud and they crazy. Now, if you were smart, what would happen is the actual citizens of Chicago would come out, and this is where we headed. They will come out and stomp mud holes in these people. And guess what? If 10,000 citizens come out and stomp mud holes in 500 people, ain't nobody going to prison because can't nobody figure out who did what. And nobody really would care. But we get into that point where people going to start stumping mud holes. Can you believe this ignorance? I mean, can you believe this? Look at these people. Wow. Cut it off. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, there's gonna come a point, and I could damn near feel it. It's in the air. It's in the air. There's gonna come a point where people gonna go stomp the bricks off of them. It's headed that way. You can feel it. People be like, "Oh, DW, you have psychic vibes." No, I just happen to pray a lot, and I can sense things based upon what we get when we go into the courts of heaven. Sometimes it's dead silent when you go in the courts of heaven. Like the courts ain't no proceedings going on. Like judgments have been released. It's like the docket is clear because all the judgments been rendered. All judgments is gone. Like, okay, what we working on today? Silence in the court. The judge there, Jesus there, the Holy Spirit there, but ain't nobody in the angels ain't there because they going to bring judgments. And that's what's been going on lately. That's what the feeling is. Oh no, I got a feeling. Oh man. Hold on. And finally, the thing that we need to accept that's coming down the pipeline is going to be some terrorist attacks. And those attacks are not going to be who you think they are. There's going to be a force behind these attacks. And it's primed for all of it. We're being primed for it with the shootings with ICE and the Muslims marching in the streets. And then if you go to Laura Luna's channel, Breaking, there's a power outage at Grand Central Station in New York right now. This comes after 9/11 fiber cables were cut in Mississippi and Louisiana Day. And fiber cables at Dallas Airport were also disrupted on Friday, which caused delays and cancellations for thousands of flights. A bad foreign actor from China, Qatar, Russia, Iran, or Islamic terrorists from Al-Qaeda trying to do a dry run and sabotaging our electric grid. Prepare yourself. Because quite frankly, I had a friend of mine reach out to me. He was like, bro, you know, the 3 days of darkness, bro, this. And I was like, oh my God, here we go again. You got to explain to people that's a psychological operation, which is preparing you to sit your dumb ass still while they turn off the lights and kill everybody. And it was what they were going to do when indictments came. They have threatened Donald Trump and said, hey, when you start indicting us, we're going to cut off the power. We're going to do nuclear war. We're going to do everything to destroy this nation. And so, as you see, the first indictment has happened. And as more indictments come, you need to be prepared. I mean, that's all I could really tell you about this. I'm hoping that you're listening to me, but we have to accept some realities as to where we are and stop pretending like, oh, it's going to be all right. Eventually, it will be okay. But right now, we got to go through some things. Deuces.